I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you'd please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Clerk, if you'd call the roll, please.
Ms. Bustos?
Here.
Henning?
Here.
Gorman? Here. McDowell?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
York?
Here.
And Farmer.
Here. Tonight's first agenda item is for us to break off into executive session, hence why we are starting early tonight. Do I have a motion for us to move to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion
For the purpose of, with the law director will
purpose of
state.
discussing pending litigation.
I'm so anxious to get back there. I'm so sorry about that, Law Director. We have a motion by Mr. Gorman with a second by Mr. Henning to go into executive session. Roll call, please.
Bustos?
Yes.
Henning?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
McDowell?
Yes.
Kelly? York?
Yes.
And Farmer.
Yes. So we are going to move to executive session to a room in the back, and we intend to be back at 7:30. So see you then. Do I have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gorman to return from executive session with a second by Mr. Henning. Clerk, if you'd please call the roll.
Ms. Bustos?
Yes.
Henning?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
McDowell?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. All right. First, coming up next on our agenda tonight, we have a special presentation on the JED, how it was formed, its accomplishments, and what's happening now.
Evening. According to the Clay Township, City of Clayton Joint Economic Development District, that's what the JED stands for. The bylaws state there should be a yearly meeting informing the Clayton Council as well as the township trustees of what the JED has done for the year. So we got a lot of new Clayton council members. I know we got some new township trustees that are out here. And since I'm the old guy that's been to every meeting of the JED, I decided I'd do the presentation and just bring everybody up to speed. So back in 2008 is when the JED was established. Kind of the township approached the city about doing this JED. And one of the benefits of the JED is when you do a JED, the city can impose income taxes in the JED district. Townships cannot impose income taxes. So that's a revenue source that the township doesn't have, but now will within that designated area. So it came together to use those funds to promote economic development of the commercial industrial sites, basically along Jacks Lane, Pleasant Plain, Route 49. And the original contract goes all the way to 2037. And with that income tax, it is a 1.5% on earnings and net profit. The first 15% go to the JED board. Then the remaining 85% is split, 60% going to Clay Township, and the remaining 40% goes to Clayton, and then Clayton pays the administration fees that CCA charges us for the process and collection. And then with the JED funds are put into a JED fund. We have one, the township has one. It's limited on what you can spend it on. Basically, again, economic development, advertising. You can do some police and fire and infrastructure improvements with those monies. This is a map of the JED. Like I said, most of it's along Jacks Lane, Pleasant Plain roads, and State Route 49. All the properties are still in there except for 2 parcels we removed a couple of years ago. It was residential. When the JED was established, the township zoning officer, along with Clayton's economic development director at the time, went to the businesses, talked to them about the JED, asked them if they wanted to join, and if they did, they signed an agreement, and they joined, and that's how the original parcels were included into the map. So like I said, there was 2 parcels that were back on Wellbaum that were residential, and the JED board voted to remove those since it was not going to be part of any kind of development down the road. Like I said, there's currently about 32 businesses in the JED area. And these are just some of the businesses that are in there. Some light manufacturing, service industries. And there's a lot of vacant land too, especially along 49. So currently, the JED is a 5-member board. Right now, the chairman's Gwen Eberly, but she decided to give this all up and retire. So Emily Bradford, who is the Community and Economic Development Director from Montgomery County, will take her place. Since the beginning, we've had somebody from the county economic development be the chair. It was Joe Tusk when it started, and Eric Collins, so that's going along. From the township, we got Tom Steck. He represents the township on the JED. And then you have Sam Cox, who represents the employees of the JED. And then appointed by the city is Randy Sanders, which represents the city. And then Mike Stevens represents the businesses. Me and Barb go. She takes the notes and minutes, and then I do the keeping of the books and also the income tax administrator. So some of the things that have the JED has accomplished over the years, like I said, it hasn't been a flurry of activity. There has been discussion at some points of, should the JED continue, because we were just sitting there not really figuring out how to help the businesses, because the main problem we have is utilities out there. So the first thing was back on Jack's Lane, it was all those businesses were handled with a package plan, a septic system. We did get sewer lines put in from Montgomery County, so we did get those started. And then we did help the businesses that are on that line with the tap-in fees to hook up to the sewer system. Then we have installed streetlights on Jack's Lane and Pleasant Plain. So then it helped with the employees coming in when it's dark, and also help some of them with their insurance premiums, since there's now lighting out there. We provided, during COVID, we went out and gave a sustainment grant program based on, as long as you were current on your income taxes, went out and gave monies to those businesses to help them during COVID. And then we also helped Hofacker, I think Precision, with expanding, creating new jobs. I think we got an EDGE grant for that. And then we also created a business assistance program, which Doris Galore was just the last recipient. They got $10,000 to help construct a new building so they could expand more of their showroom. And then we helped Englewood Truck expand their business as well. And then what we've been dealing with the last 2-3 years is sitting in on conversations with Quick Trip that is going at 49 and Brookville Salem Road. With that project, they are running water from 40 all the way down 49 to their location. So that is going to be a big help with the land out there having water now. Just got to get sewer up going north, but at least we got some more utilities coming there to help facilitate any kind of development they have. That is about it as far as the JED. I don't know if you have any questions. I know there's a couple trustees here from Clay Township as well, so.
So how does it work with a new business that might want to come in to that area? Do you guys work with them? Do they come to the cities?
We haven't had any real new ones come in. We've had sales of the current businesses. So we've tried to work that. I know our economic development director does a lot, even though his job's here, with the township not having a economic development director. So we help him out with any grant applications. We tried to get shovel-ready and stuff like that. But they did go out and do business first visits with all the businesses, trying to retain them, see what they needed. We've had some meetings with the businesses, just asking them what could the JED board do. I know we have worked with, there's businesses out there that need more space, and we try to find some space, but they do what we can.
The northwest lane that was removed of 49, who owns that land, and could that be used to develop on?
I would assume, I think ODOT still owns that. I know they still, even though they changed the configuration, it's still limited access. So when we were talking about the water, the Quick Trip just couldn't put it in the right-of-way. They had to buy extra right-of-way. ODOT still will not give up on the limited access for the installation. So I would assume that's still ODOT. I know Randy Sanders probably knows better with that than I would, but.
Quick question. I noticed that interchange between I-70 and State Route 49 was redone at some point a while back. Did it have any effect on available properties and make any of them more or less desirable?
I don't think so. I mean, it still has that, it was only, one way on and off there, and then you get on West 70, it was still the same ramp that's been there forever. It's, and then getting off is further up from that. So it was basically just, like I said, eliminating that one side of the lanes. So it might have eased it a little bit because it's a yield now coming off. But I know there's some discussion about how when Quick Trip comes in there, traffic coming in and out and what they're allowed to do. And so it's like a, ride out only. So, but yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
They are. Jim McGrath asked if Quick Trip was getting any JED funds. No, they are not.
In regards to the property at 7415 Pleasant Plain Road, I see it's currently listed for 1.8 million, and that's where the former bowling alley was. So the individual bought it in 2022. There have been no improvements. I would probably say it's continued to deteriorate. Are there any types of grants available to maybe get that site positioned better to sell than what it is now, which I would say is a blight for that area?
Right, yeah. And we discussed that, before it went up for sale, they're talking about, that the JED bought it or something, because, like I said, it's sat there. I don't know if the township trustees have any. If you want to come up here.
Nice to see you. Sorry. I'm going to have to probably correct you with your answer to Mr. McGrath as well, because we are spending JED funds.
The township's spending.
Correct.
The JED board
Yeah.
is not.
So, hello.
Here, the microphone.
Sorry. Hi, guys. Angela Howe, Clay Township trustee. Wait, what was the question? I got stuck on
bowling
two
alley.
things. The bowling alley. So my understanding from our zoning administrator is Mr. Singh, who bought the property originally, was having intentions of using it as some type of trucking operation because he also owns the lot that's right behind Doors Galore, where you see the trucks that are parked back there. And the original intention, I think, is that he was going to move his operation to that location. I just don't know if the building poses a real hardship for him, because basically they're just gonna have to rip it down. There's nothing that they can do with that building. So I know our zoning administrator has not talked to him for quite some time. Those were the original intentions, but I don't think there's been any recent communications.
I just know with the state having funds available to delete blighted properties, if there is some type of grant that the city and township or JED could enter into with the state to maybe get rid of the property as a grant advance, and then maybe even get the money back at the transaction of it selling. something to think of.
Sure, yeah, I will take that back with us. You know, with it being privately owned right now, I don't think there's much that we can do about that, but we will definitely keep that in mind. I know Montgomery County offers assistance programs with bad properties, but I think that's more of the housing and not the commercial side of things, so, but I appreciate those comments.
Yeah.
And Mr. McGrath, I just wanted to let you know, Clay Township will be using JED funds to pay our portion of the water line. So we're not paying Quick Trip anything for their property build, but we are contributing to the amount that the water line is going to cost. At this point, Clay Township, I think, is looking at $336,000 is what we're going to be paying towards the $1.5 million water line that's gonna go in there. So.
Just so Clayton's aware of this also, Quick Trip has said they will not join the JED.
Correct,
Objection to those funds being utilized.
right. And Jim, I completely understand those. We've heard those complaints at other meetings. The one thing I will say is that Quick Trip, since 2021, has spent quite a bit of money. I'm not going to sit here and say how much, but they've had to buy at least 5 or 6 easements. And the total water line price is $1.5 million. Between Clayton and Clay, we're only paying 1/3 of that total price. So Quick Trip essentially is giving Clay Township and Clayton $1 million investment with, paying for the rest of that water line. So, during negotiations, I did try to bring them into the JED, but as Kevin stated before, it is the business property's decision whether they want to be included or not. So I tried. And their primary complaint was that they didn't want to pass on the tax obligations to their employees. So they said that, Quick Trip has a lot of locations. They do business with a lot of cities and smaller governments, and they said that they do not enter into these type of agreements at any time. So I felt like we pushed them far enough, but they said it was a red line for them. So with their $1 million plus investment into that water line, we felt confident that we could be a team, and our current zoning administrator is in constant communication with their development contractor, and they're very key on making sure they're doing things the right way. EPA standard, everything that needs to be done to make sure that the properties and the businesses around them are not going to suffer because of them coming into town, so.
Sort of begs the question for me with that facility. It's great they've got water, but what will they do for sewer?
It's coming across, they're bringing it from the pump station on Jack's Lane.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. You are relieved. Next on the agenda tonight, we're doing a public hearing for Hunter's Path Phase 4. I need to read through the public hearing guidelines, and then if you're going to speak tonight, you'll need to take an oath. Okay, am I on track? All right. Just want to make sure. I think it's only my second one, so. All right, just to go through the rules here, or the guidelines, that staff will start out presenting the case, and I'll ask the applicant if they would like to make a presentation or have anything to add. I'll then ask council members if they have any questions for staff or the applicant. I'll ask for a motion to open the floor to public comment. I'll then ask for any public comments in favor of or opposition of the application. I'll then ask for a motion to close the floor to public comment. I'll ask the applicant if they would like to respond to any of the public comments. I'll ask if there any further discussion among council members. And lastly, I'll ask for a motion to close the hearing. If you'll be speaking tonight, you'll need to take an oath. If you plan on speaking tonight, please stand and raise your right hand. So if you would, please, I'll I'll go ahead and read this and just respond with I do. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to this council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, then please say I do. All right, thank you. Well, following what I just said, Mr. Carville, if you go ahead and make the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Colin Carville. I am the Development Director for the City of Clayton. Here to speak to you this evening for the first reading of Hunter's Path Phase 4. This is a final subdivision plan that will create 57 single-family home lots and 3 open spaces on a total of 20.8486 acres, located on parcel ID M60-03207-0023. This is the 4th phase and final phase of the Hunter's Path subdivision. The first 2 phases were part of a PDD that were approved. Phases 3 and 4 are a straight zoning of RSD. And Phase 3 was approved last year along with the preliminary plan. That preliminary plan that will be referencing here this evening was approved back on May 1st, 2025, so just about a year ago today. The final subdivision application was sent to us on March 2nd, 2026. It proposed, like I mentioned, 20.85 acres of the total 37.1 acres of the preliminary plan. The applicant here this evening is Ross Benfeld on behalf of DDC Management. It is located on Westbrook Road, directly south of Mountain Royal Drive. Per our standards, public notice was sent to all residents within 300 feet and published in all local newspapers and our website as well. Because this is coming to City Council in a little bit of a unique way, I wanted to do a slide just kind of briefly going over what had transpired. So the case was heard at Planning Commission on March 23rd, 2026, and it resulted in a 2-2 vote. Because of that tied vote, the recommendation ultimately it was to disapprove. I provided a couple letters from the 2 gentlemen on the Plan Commission, just kind of giving a little background on their reasoning for their no vote, just kind of explain it from my perspective. I took the approach when putting together my staff report and all the materials involved. I kind of kept it tight to what they should be making their decision on, which resulted in some documents being left out. There was some confusion involved with that. The documents left out, while important, were reviewed by our engineer and approved. But I had left those out and maybe didn't explain why they were left out the best. But ultimately, in the application here this evening, it has all the documentation provided for City Council to review. So once again, I don't want to speak for our Planning Commission members. They provided some of their reasoning. I believe Mr. Ernst is here this evening, so if he is more than welcome to expand on that as well. But after speaking with the applicant, kind of judging our timelines, both as staff, City Council schedule, and obviously consulting our legal department, we thought the best plan of action was bringing the case directly to City Council to be the most viable option. So that's where we're here at this evening. Here is just a kind of your first aerial of where we'll be working with. It's kind of in the southeastern pocket of our city, and we'll do a more blown up version here. I want to make it clear, there is a water tower near this property that is not included in this plan. This is just kind of the western part of that 36 plus or minus acre parcel that we're dealing with here for Phase 4. Here's the first look, or not your first look, but the preliminary plan that was approved back in 2025. Once again, this is a preliminary plan, is just kind of a general overview concept of how they envision this development. As you can see, this includes both phases 3 and 4, so that kind of that single strip on the right side or the eastern side of your screen there, that's phase 3 that was already previously approved. That western side is kind of what we're dealing with here this evening. And jumping to our final plan here, after reviewing this, both Ellen and I both reviewed this, our engineering consultant, as well as even McBride Dale Clarion, who has had some FaceTime with City Council in the past. They've all reviewed it. We all came to the same determination that the preliminary plan did not vary to a great extent from the final plan. A couple lots may lose a foot here or there, but nothing that was overly concerning or what we would consider a major change to the final plan. And here's just another kind of look at that final plan. Some things that may change from the preliminary plan, maybe that initial grading or initial kind of stormwater look. When we get to the final plan stage, that's when the developer puts a lot of resources in to their engineering, to the grading plan, to their stormwater plan. Better concepts and routes are determined in this phase. So if you might see a swale in the preliminary plan, that might not be on the final plan, just because after doing some of the more in-depth engineering work, it was either determined that there's a better way to utilize the property. Maybe the land sits at a different level than what they previously determined. So it was all considered and reviewed by our engineering team, who we trust, and they signed off on it. So we were comfortable with approving what they're proposing here this evening. I kind of briefly referenced it earlier, but as you can see, this is our zoning map. As you can see on the right side, that's phases 1 and 2. It's that light blue color. That's that PDD that I referenced. So they are under different standards than what we're working with here this evening. RSD is a straight zoning. There was no rezoning required. This is kind of what was already set in place here. So they looked at the standards within that RSD district and kind of conformed this phase 4 and phase 3 to make sure that those minimum requirements are met, which they did. Just kind of expanding on that a little bit. Like I mentioned, it is that RSD, which is residential single unit district. What that calls for a permitted use is a detached single family homes, which are what are being proposed. Some of the dimensional standards found in that RSD district, minimum street frontage and width of 60 feet. We take that 60 feet at the setback line. So when you get those homes that are on the cul-de-sacs that you see that have kind of that curve to it, those might not show 60 feet on the plans, but that's because obviously it's a little bit smaller frontage on the front. But once you get back to this, where the home actually starts, that's where that 60 feet that we're looking for comes in. So it all meets those minimum standards there, as well as the minimum lot sizes of 0.15 acres. So the phase 4, the minimum home frontage, it was 61 feet, meets that 60-foot minimum, and the phase 4 lot ranges from 0.1570 acres to 0.4872 acres. Same standards, so we kind of outline a rough idea of where these homes will be able to sit on these lots. We call that our buildable area, and those buildable areas, they need to conform to our setback standards found in the RSD district. So there's a 20-foot front setback standard, 10 feet on each side, and a 30-foot rear setback. And all those building areas are identified on the plans, but they're subject to an additional review because they have to apply for each home individually. So that's another full review that Ellen completes and does a great job with, that just ensures that every single home that comes through our department is meeting those minimum setback standards that are here this evening. And just some final analysis and points to make. Once again, 57 single-family homes, 4.782 acres are, which equates to about 22.94%. That's open space. There's roughly 3.7016 acres of right-of-way that will be dedicated to the city. Only one access point, which I know was discussed at length at the Planning Commission meeting. That was both analyzed. Initially, I was hoping for a connection to the west. I think connections between neighborhoods are great, but there is some drainage concerns on the western side of that property that would make that connection very, very difficult, as well as to the west is actually the city of Englewood, who were not in favor of a connection. So opted to just have that one connection. Fire and police, who are our two main motivators when we're looking at these connection points, they're both okay with that based on the subdivision size. Once that number starts getting higher, you look for more connection points, just because if an access or the front entrance is blocked off, that can create nightmares for our emergency responders. So based on the subdivision size, fire and EMS, fire, EMS, and police reviewed this and we're okay with just that one connection point to Westbrook Road. There's proposed water and sewer service tie-ins to the existing facilities. The new infrastructure includes streets, sidewalks, lighting. There's a continuation of a multi-use path along the front, and the neighborhood amenities just is the open space that has passive open space around it, so some additional green space. As far as the building design, so the builder will be Arbor Homes. In initial conversations with them, their base price will be $250,000 roughly. More realistically, with additional add-ons and different trim elevations and things like that, I expect those sale prices to be in the low to mid 300s, just to give some perspective there. In the next few slides, I'll show some of those architectural elevations for some of the sample homes included. All of their sample home sizes can be found on the Arbor website. Obviously, some of the larger scale products won't really fit on these lots, but they do have quite a selection to choose from. The only standard that we have with RSD that we can hold them to is the front facade. So that front facade needs to be at least 50% of natural and approved synthetic natural materials. So we're talking brick or stone there, so the front has to be brick or stone. When you're working with a PDD, you have a little bit more negotiating room, but since it's the straight zoning, that's kind of the only standard that we can hold them to, which will also be reviewed by Ellen when those singular homes do come in. And then here's just kind of the look at some of the variety of houses that will be offered. So this is the Aspen 2, the Spruce. They have some single-story options as well for maybe some of our aging community, which would be welcome, definitely. So that's just kind of three examples here of some of the architectural elevations that you're working with. Because it is straight zoning, there isn't a requirement for me to kind of consult with our comprehensive plan and Plan Clayton because we're already working with that straight zoning. But just to kind of hammer the point home that this is what we're looking for in this area. This was highlighted in our comprehensive plan as single-family homes, and the definition for single-family homes for our comp plan was approximately 50 to 80 feet wide, which it fits. 100 to 130 feet deep, and garages off the alley, which is not something that we can really hold them to, but that was just an extra component of it. But just wanted to reinforce that it does call for those single family homes in this area. So based on the entire application, staff is recommending approval of this request. And there's 9 conditions that I outlined in the the kind of the resolution from Planning Commission, which will be transformed into an ordinance here after the second reading. But happy to answer any questions after the applicant speaks, and any questions that the audience has. Happy to answer those. So thank you so much.
Anyone in council have a question?
Colin, it looks to me, looking back at each of the Hunter's Path, that the lots on this, Phase 4, are the largest. They actually, a lot of them exceed RSD. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would, I can't confirm if it's the largest, but it certainly meets our minimum standards for RSD, which is kind of all we're looking for.
Right, but I mean, it looks to me like they've got some that are close to half an acre. I mean, so they've
Yes.
got some
There's a good
more
variety.
variety
Yep,
in
good
this one
variety
than in
here.
the
Yep.
others. And is that just because of the uniqueness of this piece of property, or?
Yeah, I think probably the developer can answer it better than I can, but, I think with developments like this, you kind of can pick your spots on making it as different as possible, and if you can kind of offer those different lot sizes to fit maybe a larger home on that lot that Arbor offers, I think they're going to go for that, so
Great.
it's definitely
Thank you.
welcome.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Colin. No problem. Appreciate it. At this time, do we have a motion to open for public comment?
Move for approval.
We have a motion to open to public comment by Mr. Henning with a second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we are open for public comment. Thank you, clerk, for that cue. Let me go over some rules for the public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to make a comment. If your comment has been made by a previous speaker, please do not replicate comments. Direct your comments to the council, and once the floor has been closed to public comment, no additional comments can be made. So this time, is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor of the applicant? Oh. Did I miss something here? Okay, well, like I said, I'm a rookie. Okay, we'll have the applicant go ahead and, if you'd like to say a few words.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. John Bills here on behalf of DDC Management. Just want to start off with thanking you for the opportunity to be here again with our 4th phase of Hunter's Path. I don't have a lot to add. Mr. Carville did a great job of walking through what we're here for and what we have. I'll just reiterate, we are, and I'll answer the previous question a little bit in this. We are here, it is a straight zone property compared to the PDD we did in the first 2 phases. So therefore, we're not here to ask for any variances. We want to follow the zoning code exactly how it's written. And as was stated, we're meeting all of those regulations that are stated in there. And actually exceeding some of them, because we did a thorough job, and I appreciated the discussion and working through on the preliminary plan, where we did have a lot of good discussion with both residents and planning commission and council members, where we conceded some things. We moved some things around, maybe a little bit more stringent than the base zoning code, but they were all things that we were happy to do in order to make it a better project for the city of Clayton, and everybody was reasonable and was a good process. So just want to reiterate that we're thankful for that. As was stated, we're here with substantially the same plan. As was stated, we got the same number of lots, the same configuration of street, and really the only changes is, like you said, when we get into detailed engineering and you get into fine grading and making sure the grading and the drainage and everything's going to work properly, sometimes a lot shifts a foot here or there in order to accommodate a storm line or whatever that may need to go that we just don't know at that preliminary stage of the project. The other thing that does occur, and sometimes the question about, are these the largest? I can't state that these are the largest of the phases, but both phase 3 and phase 4 have larger lots in general than were in phases 1 and 2. When we went through the PDD process, those lots were only required to be 51 foot wide, and these are all at least 61 foot wide. So in general, both 3 and 4 have larger lots than what was in the previous 2 sections, or the first 2 sections in here. And we kept with that. We thought about doing PDD, but we decided to just go the straight zoning process, and because we could meet all of the conditions that were needed here. With that, grateful to be here. Would be happy to answer any questions that council may have for myself. And
I think that would be allowed to let, what do you think?
I'd be more than happy to come back up and answer questions as they come up.
Yeah, I know probably Ms. Bouzous and I have a couple of questions, so, but let's see what the public has to say. All right.
Thank you.
So, given that, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the development?
All right, I might be a little biased. Brian Henning with Arbor Homes, might be long-lost cousins. Yeah, you as well. Yeah, obviously, we're in favor. It's been great being in Clayton, and we hope to continue this relationship for years to come. Not a whole lot to add, obviously, but here for any questions, so. Awesome, thank you.
Ma'am, if you'd like to come forward. Oh, well, all right, okay. Anyone else who'd like to speak in favor of this? All right, anyone who'd like to speak in opposition to? Okay, ma'am, since you're up front there, why don't you go first?
My name is Shayna Sanford. I live on 2008 Ivy Road in Hunter's Path neighborhood. It's part of the Phase 1. Can I go ahead and okay. So I have some photos here as well, but I would like to start by just addressing like the drainage is really what I'm here for. So I have a timeline that from my specific yard. This does affect my whole street, though. You can see it from my backyard. Like, everybody's yard is pretty flooded. So in April 2025 is when we moved in. The backyard completion took a little bit of extra time. I think it was around June when they did the first grading, and then it flooded immediately after. I have a photo of that from June 14th. 2025, and then they regraded it again in September 2025, and it flooded again. Each time it was regraded, both of these, it kind of pushed the water more toward the sides and like closer to the foundation of our house, which is concerning, specifically because the long-term damage, because it is on a concrete slab. And from my research, I've learned that that can cause more damage to your foundation over time. From there, we had to wait till this spring, to see like how everything settled once the snow melted and everything. It stayed pretty flooded the whole time. Do you want me to pass the photos to you guys so you can see them while I'm speaking? And there's some emails in there also from when we've communicated this with them. And then, so in the spring, they did look and find a tile drain that was broken, 2 houses down from my house specifically. They fixed that. It seemed to improve. It was kind of more of during like a dry spell, but since it's been raining it's been a month, I think, it's been flooded the whole time. So it's just really unusable. We just want a functional backyard for our family, that's all. So we're looking for long-term solutions for the drainage is what we're wanting. Yeah, those are my main points. It's not just, we've also had issues with things like sticking up out of the yard. Last year when we would find them, they came and fixed them pretty quickly, but now when we email it, I don't know if it's because they're more focused on the flooding part or what the issue is, but they haven't come back out to fix it. It's kind of getting like pushed off, it feels like. But yeah, we're just really wanting some long-term corrective solutions for the full drainage so we can just have a functional yard. Ours backs up to a tree line, so we paid a premium for the lot, and we just haven't been able to use it for over a year, so. Yeah. Oh.
All right, thank you, we appreciate
Okay.
that. Anybody else like to speak in opposition to the project? Okay.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion to close the public comment by Mr. Gorman, second by I'm sorry, by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then public comment is closed. Any other questions from council?
You were going to allow the developer to come back up if he wishes.
Did you want to address any of the concerns?
With the main concern from the lady that just spoke, I'm not familiar with her exact instance in the existing. I am familiar with the discovery a few lots down about the tile drain in that, but we'll discuss with Arbor Homes and find out. I'm assuming that they've been emailing with Arbor on it and can discuss with them. Obviously, it's in the existing either phase 1 or 2 of the community, and we'll dig into what's going on, whether it's a grading part on Arbor or if it's something with the underlying original grading, and we'll help work to come to a resolution between the two parties. But with that being really the only concern that had come up, nothing further on that, but would be happy to answer the couple questions I think council maybe had.
Yes, I actually have been out to Mount Royal a couple times and also walked on the property with the mayor. I'm sorry, with the mayor. We walked the property and trying to look at things. Most of the concerns, of course, we didn't have a density concern here because of the large lots and everything, but was about water. And I did read the reports that that were sent to us so that I could go through it. I'm certainly not an expert. It does look to me, based on what I'm reading, that the water would be less of an issue than it currently stands today. But I'm wondering, can you explain it to us kind of in layman's terms how, especially along the very back, how that water will be improved upon?
Yep. And it's a great question. We had a lot of discussion on water and drainage, and particularly along the back of the property here, and how there's already been drainage problems back there with the neighbors on Royal Oak. And it's a common thing that comes up early on as well as during development. Drainage is always a big concern. And it was actually discussion about, should we be preserving the trees? Should we be doing, and one of the things that came up is, I was adamant that, we can't necessarily do both. Save the trees and leave a buffer, but also fix the drainage, and the drainage is the bigger concern. So a lot of time is spent with our engineers to make sure, you can see, I believe, you can see that there's a storm drain being ran to the back of the lot. So there will be a catch basin back behind the lot there, and then there'll be grading in order to get the water that's now standing there, swales and that, to be able to get the water into the catch basin. And in the catch basin, it's kind of hard to see. There's a number, I think it's a 15 looking from here, but then it'll go through the pipe and then caught and ultimately make it into the ponds, into the detention ponds. So where it currently sits low or as a flat spot there, the grading that we do will allow us to get it into the storm management system to help alleviate the problems.
The water that's collecting in that back corner, some of it's coming from Mount Royal, that will drain into this as well?
Yes, if it's currently, so the way that we're held to the Ohio standards and what it is, any water that's coming onto our property now, we have to be able to control, we have to be able to treat, it has to be able to make it through. We also can't keep water from leaving our property. We have to let the same amount of water that is currently leaving our property, because we can't cause a drought downstream. We can't let too much water go and flood a neighbor, but we can't let too little down and cause like a drought downstream. So it's very specific. What we can do is catch it, get it into a storm basin, and then release it at a slower rate so that it doesn't flood. So they put pipes on there, or orifices they call them, in order to let it trickle out instead of like during a flood letting it gush out onto neighbors and that. So It is, I always say, I don't like to say it because we aren't here to necessarily fix stuff off of our property, but it almost always does help with the neighboring properties if there's existing flooding and existing problems. Getting this to not just be a normal farm field that maybe has a low spot, but putting intentional thought into how to grade it and to get it into the storm system usually makes that better.
Right, because it looked to me like on the engineering pieces that were in our packet, that back corner showed improvement.
Correct.
From where it is today.
And it does. It will be better with what they're doing in order to get that water to drain away and make it into the storm system.
I also have a question about the creek, just to verify, and I don't know all the conditions that we put in, but on the ordinance, but I'll take a look. I wanted to make sure that we all agreed that that was going to be like it was before you ever started Phase 3 or Phase 4, that would be taken
Yes.
care of.
There was a debate during the preliminary plat. Some people wanted me to remove some dead trees in that. We are not going to modify the creek. We can't change the routing of the creek. We can't get in the creek and do anything to it per them. We did say if there were dead trees like laying out over it, we would do a little bit of cleanup, just to make it better for the homeowners there, but we can't modify the creek. We can't get into the stream and do anything that would redirect water or damage it.
Yeah, understood. I just want to make sure anything that that would happen as you're in there grading, moving all that heavy equipment around and all the dirt, all that stuff will come back out of the way so that the creek will run just how it always has.
That is correct.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to ask about that border along Mount Royal, to what extent you're going to be able to preserve trees?
It's a good question, and it was the same kind of discussion we had at the, we are going to do the grading needed to fix the drainage. And that's why on the other side, the way it was, we could commit to keeping a true buffer. And on this one, because the drainage was much worse to the west of the creek, I couldn't commit to keeping a buffer. Now, I was discussing with Ross, who had spoke at the previous meeting, who works with me. We're going to try to keep what we can, but I honestly can't sit here and say we will keep it. We're going to make sure the grading works and that the water gets away, and we'll clear what we need to do that. If we're able to get the clearing, the current plans lead me to believe there will be some areas that we can leave some, but until you get in and actually start grading and moving it and setting your catch basins, we want to make sure the drainage works first and foremost.
Thanks.
But if there's something dead,
Yes, if there's something dead,
Those are
on our
gonna come out.
property, we don't go onto neighbors' properties, but if there's something
Right.
dead on our property in there, we'll take it out while we're back there doing our
okay,
work.
thank you.
Thank you.
And just one more point that I wanted to bring up as well is, sure, we can take the developer's word for it, but we do have a system of checks and balances in place too. So we have different agencies involved that are constantly doing inspections on the stormwater. We have Miami County Water and Soil. We have the Ohio EPA reviews the plans to make sure that they're compliant. Our engineering team is doing checks every 2 weeks on the properties, as well as our own team, some of Randy's team that are trained in kind of these inspections, review these sites, review these plans, and are out on the field doing these inspections. So obviously, we trust the developers we're working with, but we also have the checks and balances in place to ensure the right things are being done. So hopefully that issues that are happening in Phase 1 will be resolved, within the coming months. So, thanks.
Thank you, Colin. Any other questions or discussion from council?
I myself went to walk the property a while back on Mount Royal, and it's refreshing to know from the developer standpoint that this is going to take care of itself, because it has been an issue for a long time. So it's nice to know that you are going to correct that issue moving forward.
Anyone else?
I see a lot of green space. I know that the development over on Mount Royal had an HOA and it dissolved. So and now residents take care of those basins and things like that. Is that what the plan is for this, is to have an HOA and that will take care of all of that green space there?
That is correct. This will become part of the overall HOA association for all 4 phases of Hunter's Path. And they will have responsibilities, obligations to maintain the green space as well as the ponds and the stormwater.
So just to make sure that, okay, Hunter's Path phases 1 through 4 will be under one HOA.
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Any comments? With that, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
We already did it. I already made the motion.
That was public comments.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Gorman to close the public hearing with a second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The comment's already closed.
We closed the comments on the public hearing.
It is closed. You're free to make comments at the end under, let's see, visitors' comments.
At this time, we have the clerk's report.
You have before you the council meeting minutes of May 7th, 2026.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the minutes by Mr. Henning with a second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Call the roll, please, clerk.
Bustos?
Yes.
Henning?
Yes.
Gorman?
Abstain.
McDowell?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
And Farmer.
Yes, the motion passes. Looks like we have 3 items of old business tonight. Clerk, if you'd read the first one.
Ordinance O05-2605, an ordinance amending Section 351.06 of the Clayton Codified Ordinances entitled Commercial and Heavy Vehicle Parking Regulated.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Henning with a second by Mr. York. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. If you'd read the next one, please.
Ordinance O05-2606, an ordinance adding a new Section 351.15 entitled Trailers, Towed Vehicles Parked on Streets, Limited Hours to the Clayton Codified Ordinances.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the ordinance by Mr. Gorman with a second by Ms. Bustos. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And looks like we have one more.
Ordinance O05-2607, an ordinance adding a new Section 351.16 entitled Selling, Washing, or Repairing Vehicle Upon Roadway to the Clayton Codified Ordinances.
Move for approval.
Second. Sorry.
Mayor's option here. Motion to approve by Mr. Henning with a second by Ms. Bustos. Any discussion?
I'd just say for the last 2 and this one, Chief Nabel spoke at our last meeting as a proponent for all 3 of these and did a presentation. That presentation can be found in the minutes that we just approved or also on the city's website on the YouTube video of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henning. Good point. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have some new business tonight. We have 2 ordinances and 4 resolutions. So clerk, if you'd read the first ordinance.
Ordinance OPC-2602, an ordinance overruling the Planning Commission's recommendation to disapprove the final development plan and Section 4 plat, Hunter's Path of DDC Management, LLC, for property bearing parcel ID number M60-03207-0023 and containing 20.85 acres located at the northwest corner of Westbrook and Union Roads within the city of Clayton, Ohio.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Mayor, if I may. Just to remind council that this is a little different, that since the way it came before council will be overruling the planning commission, so we'll be looking for the 5 votes, at least if that's what council decides to do. And also, I just wanted to add, since you should have all received my memo yesterday, I know in the past you've all been told that the preliminary plan was could be considered very preliminary, and that you would have the chance in the future on these plans to make changes and stuff. And I wanted to remind you that really the current guidance is that what you want in a plan really should be put in that preliminary plan. And what you're looking at in the final plan is really to make sure that the preliminary plan has been carried out. And that while there are a lot of considerations that can be taken, factors that can be taken into consideration, all of those can always be taken into considerations, but the restrictions and what you're looking for should really be set out in the preliminary plan. So what you're looking for tonight is pretty much those 6 factors that I had set out in the memo, and what was set out in the preliminary plan. Are they meeting the preliminary plan?
Thank you, Law Director. Do we have any other discussion? Yeah, I will say this one was sort of a unique kind of situation, and had to do a little more homework on this one, and I'm personally satisfied with this one as it is. Ms. Bustos and I worked with this, checked out the development, walked it with some residents, and just letting you know where I stood on this. So since we have a motion and a second, motion by Mr. Gorman with a second by Ms. Kelly, and no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion passes. Read the next ordinance, please.
Ordinance O05-2608, an ordinance amending the city's investment policy.
Evening again. It's been about 12 years since we last updated our investment policy, and some things have changed. Some of the names of the oversight authorities have changed. There's been some language change in ORC, as well as trying to get some of the maturities to be consistent throughout the investment policy. So that's the major changes we did.
If you're making a recommendation to us, you get every award possible. I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Henning with a second by Mr. Gorman. Any discussion on this one? With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then the motion passes. If you'd read the next one, please.
Resolution R05-2634, a resolution approving amendment of 2026 appropriations and estimated resources.
I need to amend our estimated resources appropriations in the Capital Improvement Projects Fund. We need to increase our estimated resources by $131,000. We have received some income taxes from the AGs, as well as a late from December that was not included in our original budget. And then we want to do some school zone upgrades that we're getting in partnership with actually the city of Englewood as well as Northmont Schools. So in order to facilitate that, we need to increase appropriations, $12,000. We can utilize some of the appropriations we have now to cover most of it, but we need to increase it another $12,000 for that. In the State Highway Fund, we started out the year less than what we had budgeted, so I need to bring down appropriations to get us in compliance by $2,554. And with the school zone upgrades, I need to have a transfer of $36,347.50 from the general fund to the CIP fund to cover those expenses.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, I have a motion approved by Mr. Gorman with a second by Mr. Henning. Any discussion?
I'd just say we started working on these school zone improvements maybe in 2024. The conversations it's been a couple years, so I just would thank staff. I know that it was a priority for us over the last couple years, and I know it is government and sometimes can be slow, so thank you.
other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. With the next one.
Resolution R 05-2635, a resolution to authorize and approve certain proposed revisions to the city fee schedule relative to certain zoning fees.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Gorman with a second by Mr. Henning. Discussion, I think the city manager, if you could make a few comments on this one.
Sure. So this evening, the fee schedule is updated to increase by the Consumer Price Index, which roughly estimates about $5 for if we have to go in and cut somebody's grass. This was a conversation with council that we had a few meetings ago. We are looking into possibly putting something in an ordinance about an automatic update each year. We just aren't quite there yet, so wanted to get this in front of you this evening to at least update it for this year, and then we will revisit that automatic updates in the future.
Yes.
All right, with discussion, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Read the next one, please.
Resolution R 05-2636, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Ohio Benefits Cooperative to provide medical benefits for employees.
I'll move for approval. I'll second.
All right, this time we have Ms. Kelly motioning for approval with second by Mr. Gorman. Discussion. City manager, could you comment?
So this is just the approval for the 2-year commitment to stay within the Ohio Benefits Cooperative for our medical insurance. They do, as the bylaws do require us, if we want to participate, to pass this legislation for a 2-year agreement.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. And looks like we have one more.
Last one. Resolution R 05-2637, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield via the Ohio Benefits Cooperative for the provision of group health insurance benefits from September 1, 2026 through August 31st, 2027.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion approved by Mr. Henning with a second by Ms. Bustos. Any discussion? This one reads somewhat self-explanatory. With no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, before we proceed, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to authorize legal counsel to submit a proposed consent decree to the judge for his approval in case number 25 CV 320, and to authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of city council any documents necessary to effectuate the terms of the consent decree to be entered by the court.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to, boy, I could really comment on that one, but I'm just going to say to approve a consent decree with a second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then that motion passes. This time we've got our visitor comments. And as I'm making it customary, if you put a yes down, I'll read your name first, and then I'll come back to see if any no's change their minds. So first up, looks like Mr. Ralph Evans.
Ralph Evans, 6022 Mount Royal Drive. My concern is that, like you were talking about that water, the other day when it had a lot of rain, we had a lot of water. It was 10, 12 feet wide across there. But I don't know how you're going to take a 942 feet level down to 900 and 31. I think it's 11 feet difference between the top and the bottom, and put a swell or a culvert in there. That water's not going to go uphill either way because it's so low. So how do you propose to put something in there to control the water coming off those two backyards? That's my question. Is you walk the property, it's 931 feet sea level at the back of my yard, and the top of that hill is 941. So I don't know how much dirt you're going to have to move around to excavate that and put a swell. I hope you don't put no swell in there, but we got to sit down and figure something out, because I don't know how that water's you're going to trap that water down there on my property. I don't have a picture up here, but was there a culvert going over there to the old Redemption Pond over there on Mount Royal? The, what do you call it? Where they hold the water? I mean, I saw something across there from the road. I don't know. I'm just real concerned with that. So that's my concern. And the tree line, I would appreciate taking as many less trees out, because I've cut that grass for 32 years around there and planted grass seed, and it looks kind of nice. So that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, sir. Sounds like maybe you could talk afterwards. I think that might help on that. Thanks, appreciate that. Forgive me if I mispronounced the name. As Shayna Sanford? Okay, did you want to talk again? Well, come on up. Come on down.
The main things that I wanted to ask now is, like, what can be done with the phase 1 part that is still having drainage issues. Just because with them regrading again, she sent us an email 2 days ago saying they were going to regrade the sides of our house again, but that'll be the 4th attempt, and it still floods every single time. So, and it's pushing, like I said, the water closer and closer to our foundation, which is concerning. So that's really my main concern, because it's our whole street. It's not even just my house. And it's happening to my neighbors, like at least 4 or 5 houses down too. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. I know that underground drainage stuff, that can cause problems. So hopefully something gets resolved out of that. John Bills, and you spoke already. So, and that's it I have for speaking this evening. Has anyone marked no, change their mind? Anyone? All right, well then we'll move on from public comments, or visitor comments, sorry. City Manager's Report, Ms. Whitman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to remind you that offices will be closed this coming Monday for an observance of Memorial Day. Also, trash and recycling will be delayed 1 day due to the holiday. Beginning June 8th, Westbrook Road will be closed between Union Road and Hoke Road for the installation of a new culvert. This closure is expected to last approximately about 3 weeks. And this is a joint project with the city of Trotwood. Are you going to ask something, Mr. Henney?
So all of it will be open just to local, including the Hunter Path residents, and then also whatever that Inglewood division is right there?
They will be able to access their homes, yes, but I don't know if it's through, that's why I'm trying to think where the access points are that they may have to be rerouted, but just because it is a culvert repair, so yeah.
Put that on the city's website too as well?
We do have it already up on the city website as well as onto our social media outlets. No, thank you. With Kevin here tonight, it seems perfect timing to announce the GFOA Budget Award so that the city received basically from the Government Finance Officers Association. It's a Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its budget. This recognition reflects the city's commitment to excellence in governmental budgeting and meeting nationally recognized standards, including serving as a policy document, financial plan, operations guide, and communication tool. So with Kevin here tonight, we'd like to give special recognition to him, our fearless leader, and his leadership and efforts achieving this distinction. So thank you, Kevin.
How many years in a row is that, Kevin? 18?
I will put that on the record, 18, yes, thank you. And finally, I just wanted to share this evening that in April, code enforcement recorded the highest number in a single month to date, with 184 violations were served out. So the detailed statistics is in your packet this evening. That's all I have for you, unless you have anything for me.
I do not. I just want to say it's a new track record. So
It sure is.
Appreciate the efforts of code enforcement to hold our city to a high standard. In fact, you can make that in conjunction with starting out on our comments for the evening, if you would, Ms. Bustos.
I just ask my question first, and then I'll move to the comments. I've had a couple of calls over at the Northwoods development about how hard the ground is shaking. Is there anything that can be done? I don't know how that works. Is there any type of monitoring? There's a lot of pneumatic drilling going on, and that's what's doing it, and I wasn't sure if there were any regulations for that.
I apologize, but I don't know that offhand, but I'm more than happy to look into that and get back with you and the rest of council.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to start my comments by saying thank you to everybody that came out tonight. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of the folks that live adjacent to Hunter's Path 4 that have been talking to us over the last couple weeks. I think that it can be a really great example that if you come to us proactively, there's a lot we can talk about, and sometimes the issues are substantial. Sometimes the issues are very simple things that can be easily fixed. And just to have a public hearing that is pleasant and see a developer make changes and work with the residents is really refreshing, and I really appreciate that. And thank you, and great job, Kevin. Thank you.
Mr. Henning.
Also would reiterate, congratulations to you, Kevin. I know that it was shared that this week is Public Service Week, so obviously thank you to our public service team. Last week, I think, was Police Week. Maybe next week is Fire Week. So just thank you to all the employees we have. I think what you did tonight, Elaine, with the insurance, that shows our dedication to the city staff, and we try to provide great, and you do a fantastic job, benefits to them. In regards to Sweep Clayton Clean last weekend, that was a great success. Those dumpsters were full, and staff worked really hard in the rain, so thank you to the staff for that. Tremendously appreciated. Even through a thunderstorm, they continued to go, so thank you for that. Again, Tony Thomas, the superintendent for Northmont, congratulations on your retirement. I went to his retirement party last week, and he has been a tremendous superintendent for Northmont. I'm glad that he and his wife are staying here in the city of Clayton in their beautiful home that they built. And also a longtime friend of mine, Joy McCarnes, who lives in my ward, she was a teacher at the middle school while I was there. She's also retiring. So Joy, I hope you and Tony and everyone else retiring from Northmont this year have very long, healthy, safe retirements. And to all the students who finished today, have a safe summer, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gorman.
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate Kevin and thank him for his hard work, and thank everyone for coming.
Ms. McDowell.
I'd like to also thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you, Colin, for your excellent presentation, as well as you, Kevin. And congratulations. I think we need a standing ovation for 18 years. Okay. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Stay well, stay safe, stay connected with your neighbors.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kelly.
I too would like to congratulate Kevin. It doesn't surprise me, but it's well accepted to the fact that I think we don't have much space on the walls for any more awards for you, but we welcome them. Thank you, Kevin, again for that. And then Colin, you did an excellent presentation, and thank you. Have a safe Memorial Day, and please watch students that are on the road now that school's over. Just take extra precaution with students. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Mr. York.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I wanted to thank staff, especially Kevin. Congratulations. I was at my son's 6th grade clap out today at Northmore. Just wanted to wish all of the students out there in Northmont, or really everywhere, have a safe and a happy summer.
Thank you. A few comments from me here in the end. Just want to thank all of you residents that came out tonight. I appreciate your participation in the public hearing, and just echo what Ms. Bustos said. If you see problems that are coming up, we welcome you bringing those to us beforehand so we can try to address those and see how far we can get to where almost the public hearing is just a mere formality, that all those issues have been addressed beforehand. And we welcome the opportunity to do that. Kevin, I don't know if you have any more room on your walls in your office, but I guess you use one of these things up there. Just give yourself another little pin. But do appreciate all the efforts you provide for finance in the city and keeping us solvent and secure in that area. We had a good residential zoning review initial meeting, the special committee we had formed. And our next meeting is going to be June 11th. It'll be after the next council meeting. But certainly be watching for that. Welcome public participation and comment as we try to go forward to address any zoning, residential zoning concerns that have come up over the past few years to make sure that we're in more harmony with the city going forward in the future. May is, I talked about this with the city manager, May is awareness month for probably anything you can think of. So certainly I think the city, if you wanted some recognition seen on social media through the city, contact the city on that. And that goes for any month with regards to recognition. One that comes to my mind is it's actually Celiac Awareness Month for those that can't have wheat, rye, barley. You've seen it in the stores, but for some people that is a serious issue. It's not just a gluten intolerance. So I bring that up because there's some people that have that dietary restriction, but society in general has become more aware of that. Certainly it's Mental Health Awareness Month as well, and I know Ms. McDowell is an expert in that area. If you ever want to get more insight into that. For me, I know mental health is important because I don't think we are naturally inclined to know how to deal with maybe some things, and other folks have figured that out. It doesn't hurt to get some insight on that, to whether you're going to help somebody or help yourself. There's no fault in just asking how to do it. Finally, I'll just say it is Memorial Day weekend coming up. Hope you enjoy that, and I would just ask that you would take a moment to reflect on the service members of our country that made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom and liberty. With that, that's it for my comments. And we're going to need to go to another executive session. And Law Director, what is that for?
Pending litigation.
Pending litigation, and no action will be taken afterwards, or will there action?
We don't expect any.
Okay, so no expected action. I'll move it to go into executive session.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Henning to go in executive session with a second by Mr. York. Clerk, if you'd call the roll.
Bustos?
Yes.
Henning?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
McDowell?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
And Farmer?
Yes. So this time, we will stay here. We can dismiss the public, and thank you for coming tonight. And it will just be a very informal end of meeting when we're done with our executive session. So thank you.
motion to return from executive session.
Second.
We have a motion to return from executive session by Mr. York with a second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll move for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Gorman with a second by Ms. McDowell. Any noes? Meeting adjourned.